So we're working with fractions and we want to convert a few fractions. In this video we're going to convert common fractions, these ones here, to decimal fractions. Remember, common fractions look like that, they have a fraction line, but we want to convert them to a decimal fraction, 0, or a number, that would be a decimal fraction. So I'm going to do a few examples with you and see if that helps. So example number 1. Express 3/8 as a decimal fraction without a calculator. So this is a common fraction here. We want to change it to a decimal fraction. We're not going to use a calculator. So let's just write the question again. We want 3/8. We begin by saying, can 8 go into 3? Can 3 be divided by 8? No. So 8 can't go into 3, so 8 goes into 3 0 times, so we put our comma. Now what we can do is just draw a line, a whole lot of zeros over here, many as you want, and we're going to divide it by 8. So we said 8 can't go into 3, so we have 0, comma. We carry this 8 across here and right next to our first 0. And what this now becomes, this number is not 3 anymore, it's 30. We can say, how many times can 8 go into 30? Well, 8 times 3 is going to give me 24. So it goes into there 3 times. 8 can go into 30 3 times, but it's going to be a remainder 6. So 8 into 30 3 times, remainder 6, and we write about next 0. And that now becomes 60. And how many times can 8 go into 60? Well, 8 times 7 is going to give me 56. So I can write it 7 there. So 8 into 60 goes 7 times. Remainder, how many? Remainder 4. And that now becomes 40. And 8 into 40 goes, so 8 times 5 is 40. So that must be 5. 8 times 5 is 40. Remainder, nothing. But no more remainders. So just quick recap there. We started by saying 8 goes into 3 0 times, and that's where we got that 0. We carried the 3 across to our new zeros and became 30. 8 into 30 goes 3 times, that's where that 3 comes from. 8 times 3 is 24, remainder 6. Carry our 6 up here, and that became 60. 8 into 60 goes 7 times, we wrote it here. 8 times 7 is 56, so to get to 60 we had a remainder of 4. Wrote it there, and 8 into 40 goes 5 times, no more remainders. What happens if we have an example where we've got an improper fraction? The number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. This 11 is bigger than this 4. We'll express that as a decimal fraction without a calculator. Begin by writing our question, 11/4. Remember, only one equal sign on the line, so I'm writing my equals there. We start by saying, how many times can 4 go into 11? 4 goes into 11 2 times, because 4 times 2 is 8. So 4 goes into 11 2 times. Now I've got my comma after that. But there is a remainder. So we keep our line, write our circles over here. Remember, we divide by 4. 8 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So I wrote my 2 here. But there is a remainder. The remainder to get from 8 to 11, 8, 9, 10, 11 is going to be my 3. And this new number, remember, is not just 3, it's 30. 4 goes into 30. How many times can 4 go into 30? Well, 4 times 7 is going to give me 28. So that must go in there 7 times. Write my 7. 4 times 7 is 28, and there's going to be a remainder of 2. Write my 2. Now that becomes 20. 4 into 20, or 4 times 5 is 20. So I write 5. And I've got no more remainders. Last example. Express 5/3 as a decimal fraction without a calculator. Write a question. 5/3. This one's like the previous one, because 3 can go into 5. 3 goes into 5 once. So I write my 1, comma. But there is a remainder. We're going to have to write our zeros again and carry our remainder. Well, 3 goes into 5 once, remainder 2. 3, 4, 5, so that gives me my remainder 2. This new number is 20, so how many times can 3 go into 20? It goes 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. So I still have a remainder. 3 times 6 is 18, going to be remainder 2. Write my 2 there. This again is 20. 3 goes into 20 6 times. Again, 3 times 6 is 18, remainder 2. Write it again. 3 goes into 20 6 times. Remainder 2. What's going to happen? It's going to keep going. So this we can then write as 1, 6 recurring. Put your dot on top to show that it's recurring. Now, the important steps here is number 1, we start by asking how many times can the denominator, the bottom number, go into the numerator, the top number. And that's the first number that gets written, 1 comma. Or in our previous example, the first example, 8 couldn't go into 3, so we kept it as 0. Then what we do is we draw our line over here, write all our little zeros that we did there, and we carry the remainder. If we're not carrying the remainder, we're carrying the top number over. We get our new number, which in this case was remainder 2, so it became 20, and then we divide the bottom into the top. See how many times it can happen? Write the number, and then we keep going until we either have a terminating decimal like that, or we get a recurring decimal like that. Hope that helped.